Now, now we know how to attain a Nishchay, which is through the six pillars and through Gnan and through good people. How do we maintain Nishchay? We maintain Nishchay through the six pillars, and we broaden our Nishchay in the six pillars. For example, reading Sastras. If you read if you read Sastras, you will enhance your vocabulary. Even like myself, I don't know how to read Gujarati, and it sometimes is really hard to find Sastras in English. On If you go to svg.org, so many Sastras are translated into English for our benefit, like the Vachnamrut, the Satsangi Jivan, the Shiksha Patri. And also you can find these on the App Store as well. You just type in the name of the Sastra and it will come up. And by having all these, you can understand that you will strengthen your Nishchay, because the more you understand the Sastras, the more you will understand Bhagwan. And the more you understand who Swaminarayan Bhagwan is, the better your faith will be in him. And also going to Mandir and participating at Mandir tasks and events. Like I said before, just because you go to Mandir once does not mean it's done, one and done. You have to continually go. Like for instance, you can't just go like on the Utsav Divas, like oh Patutsav Javano, and then that's it. By going to Mandir frequently, regardless of whether you go to like Sabha or not, which you should, but I understand that some people don't have time because of work or whatnot, you should try to make an effort to see Bhagwan at Mandir like once a month, or personal goal. You should have a personal goal. I just gave one example, but you should have that in the back of your head that, oh, I'm gonna see Bhagwan this so and so times this year or this month. By having this, you will continually go to Mandir and you will continually be within Bhagwan's touch. And by also listening to kathas and kirtans, hint hint, tomorrow. By listening to kathas are a direct like oral reflection of Bhagwan Sastras. So that is also similar, not identical, but similar to reading Sastras, except in more detail. Because whoever's doing the katha, like for instance, Lalji Maharaj or Santo or even a Parsad, whoever's doing the katha is actually explaining it in detail. So for instance, you're reading a Vachnamrut and you read, I'm like, I don't understand this part, because personally, I don't understand some parts either, because it is a complex thing. You go online and you go, for instance, to svg.org, or you go to LNDYM YouTube, so SVG YouTube, you can find a whole bunch of gathas about any topic ever that you could possibly think about. And by listening to these gathas, if there's a part you don't understand, there's a great explanation. And so you can understand that part because they will simplify it for you. And kirtans, kind of like to say similarly, by listening to kirtans are direct, like some of they're direct, but it's a form of bhakti, because it's you're singing something or you're listening to Bhagwan's Varni. The Nan Santos created so many kirtans for us to sing. For instance, Manaki Chadare Mohana Vanamari. That whole kirtan is a lila itself of Swaminarayan Bhagwan. And by just thinking about that kirtan, you can just remember the entire lila of what happened. And that's directly thinking about Bhagwan and one of his lilas. So by listening to kirtans and kathas, you can strengthen and maintain your nischay by continually doing so. And also connecting with Santos, Dharmakur, and Sankyogi Beno is also really important. Like if when Santos and Dharmakur come once a year, we should really take that opportunity to engage with them. But after they leave, it is important to stay in touch with them once in a while to make sure that they're doing good and to catch up with them, if that makes sense. You should always stay in touch with these positive influences in your life throughout your whole life. And continuing, you should also ask questions that you may not be sure about. And you should always have that mentality that I want to be a better satsangi. If you have this mentality, then automatically it will set a positive mindset for yourself. And Bhagwan has said in the Vachanamrita, once a year, you should reflect to see how much you have grown from the previous year in satsang. And this doesn't mean like, oh, this year I started doing like an extra mara in my puja. That's like a small goal. What Bhagwan is saying here is that like a big goal. Like for instance, last year I was eating onion and garlic. This year I stopped eating onion and garlic. And that is a very good improvement because you're directly following one of Bhagwan's niyams. And I understand that sometimes you can't follow the niyams, and that's totally fine because satsang is you're growing. it's about improvement. It's not about being perfect. It's about growing and improving. And Bhagwan will see this improvement, and he will his Rajipo will be on you. So once you should reflect to see where you are. A good time to do this would be like Shibir, or like the New Year, Diwali, your birthday. Like Shibir is a great time because you're already surrounded by all these good people, like Laji Maharaj, like Dharmakur, all these other uncles. By having these good influences, you can automatically just reflect on yourself to see, where was I last year? Where am I now? And where do I want to be within the next year? And this will help you maintain your Nishchay in Bhagwan. And you can reflect, did my Nishchay decrease, increase? Did I level up on one of the Nishchays? Because you could go from Kanish to Madhyam, Madhyam to Uttam. It takes time, but it happens throughout your life. You should have that goal that by the time I'm old, I want to have Uttam Nishchay. And Nishchay can be presented in many forms. For instance, the Murti in our puja, we should have we should have that firm belief that when we sing the Utishta Govinda Stotam in the morning in our puja, Bhagwan is directly coming from Akshardham into our Pujani Murti. And when we do Mara, when we do the Pradakshina, when we do Danvat or Pancha Namaskar, Bhagwan is directly accepting our bhakti. Similarly, when we perform our daily rituals to Bhagwan, for instance, Thar, Arti, when you're sitting in the Bhagwan room doing Mara or Siyasan, I think everyone has like a Siyasan in their house. And when you do Thar and Arti, you should have that mentality that, wow, Bhagwan is in my house and he is sitting here. Like this is his room. Similarly to how you have a bedroom, your parents have a bedroom, this is Bhagwan's room, or like Bhagwan's space. And Bhagwan is here. And we feed Bhagwan. We do Arti to Bhagwan. And he accepts all our bhakti. And also, most importantly, in our Mansi Puja, a person who, Bhagwan states in Gadara Antya 23, a person who is a Bhakta of Bhagwan daily performs the Mansi Puja of Bhagwan. The Mansi Puja of Bhagwan is said to be the similar if you were doing Bhagwan, if you were doing those activities to Bhagwan. Like for instance, in our morning Mansi Puja, we should wake Bhagwan up in a like calming fashion. We should do Danvat to Bhagwan. Then we should take him to the bathroom, brush his teeth, Bhagwan and Navravana, wash Bhagwan, bathe him. Then we put on clothes, Bhagwan Vastra Dharan Karavana. And then we take him for Thar, Bhagwan Jamarvana. And then you visualize, what do I want to feed Bhagwan today? And that could be anything you want it to be. Because Bhagwan does not care about what you feed him. Bhagwan bhavna bhukyacha. Bhagwan is hungry for your love. He's not looking to see, oh, is he feeding me what I like? But Bhagwan does not care. Bhagwan will accept anything that you give him. Even if you give him one roklo and a little bit of makhan, Bhagwan will accept that. Because Bhagwan knows that this bhakta's bhav is so pure and that's all that counts. And by doing Mansi Puja every day, you have that Nishchay that, okay, when I do Mansi Puja, Bhagwan is directly accepting my bhakti towards me.